Hey, y'all gonna miss the you're gonna miss the music intro. You might even get some kids in the background. We outside today. It's a beautiful day. Little sun out here in good old Texas. Y'all probably thought I was out in Cancun somewhere, but not yet. Give it a couple days. We gonna go somewhere. It's about that time. Hey, happy Friday. We got the premiere going. We got kids trying to learn how to swim. But it's a beautiful day. I thought I'd come to y'all outside today. So we got a lot to talk about today. We're gonna start off with a big shout outs and congratulations to University of South Carolina and Dawn Staley. Great game. Shout out to Iowa, Caitlin Clark. 18.7 million viewers. Now I forgot, was that? Yeah, I think that was a championship, or that might have been Iowa LSU. But either way, if you didn't watch the tournament, you missed some great basketball. It was very exciting, man. There's some stars out there. Cameron Brink, Paige Buchers, Juju, Cardoza at South Carolina. They were the top 5 coming out of high school. They remained the top 5. Like, they were the show of the tournament. So it was exciting. Shout out to UConn. Blue Blood. Man, they made Calipari quit. Made Calipari leave Kentucky. UConn has put together something. You all may not remember. Kevin Ollie won. Kevin Ollie got a kind of a bad rap. He got kind of forced out of UConn. They won. He kind of started this thing with Jim Calhoun. UConn just got a program, but you know, UConn is they never really did the one and dones. They've always been a 4-year program. You know, you look at the guys, look at Jalen Brunson, DiVincenzo, Josh Hart. These guys, that's a wrong damn school. I'm at Villanova. Same type of program. UConn is it's a solid program. They haven't produced the pros like they used to. But they get these guys to stick around. They're seniors, juniors, and they're solid. So shout out to UConn. Great game against Purdue. I was rooting for Purdue, the Big Ten. Of course, my boy Edey. Those that know, I'm a big fan. I hope he goes pro. I think he will have a good career in the pros. He may not be an all-star, but he's 7 foot, 300. Pretty. I think he got a solid offensive game. People say he's slow of foot, but there are a lot of guys in the league that are kind of slow. But shout out to the NCAA. Great tournament, great basketball. So now we're at the last week of the season. Last couple of days. I ain't even say last week. Last couple of days. Denver came in the other night. If you didn't see it, it was a great game. Denver, Minnesota. I really like Minnesota. I'll get to you my prediction, my playoff runs. Minnesota fought hard, but you missed Cat. They really missed Cat, but I think he'll be back for the playoffs, and that's going to be huge for Minnesota. Huge. But Denver persevered, man. Denver's just good. They're a great basketball team, man. And I'll talk awards later, but Jokic, MVP candidate, may not have had Embiid stayed healthy all year, but right now you got to give it to him. You got to give it to him. So the season has ended. So what? This year was kind of weird. I think what we saw this year was a transition. The young kids are taking over. And when I say that, this next generation, I think, you know, the Durants, the LeBrons, these guys are kind of, this is it for them. They're at that last hurrah. But now we have the Lucas. You got the Shea SGAs. You got Tatum. You got Jaylen Brown. You got Jalen Brunson, damn it. These young guys are just amazing. You got Wemby coming on. You got Chet. Anthony Edwards. You know, the Ball brothers are hurt, but if they ever can get healthy, they'll get back. The NBA is in good hands. So I think this year was really a year of transition where, you know, the Warriors, as great as Steph has been and Draymond, his crazy ass, he's probably the only excitement we had in the league this year. We didn't have a lot of suspensions outside of Draymond. The league was really, it was really it wasn't a lot of off the court drama. Was kind of, you had Giddy. Giddy got a little trouble, got out of that one. Now we got a recent gambling scandal. But he get banned, but Giddy doesn't. But hey, that's all right. That's the way the world works. So the NBA was really kind of a quiet season, but it was good basketball. Like, we saw great basketball. Another one, Giannis. Like, we talked about the Bucks, and we'll get into the conferences, but I don't know where the Bucks are going. I think the Lakers are on the last run. I'm just gonna say it's over. Warriors, they might make some noise this year. Clay has found himself. Wiggs playing well. Draymond is, when he on the court, he on the court. Like, he's a leader. He's a dog when he on the court. Steph is Steph, but this is probably it for the Warriors. If they make a little noise this year, we're probably not going to see much more out of them. But the thing is, in reality, it's called a run, a dynasty for a reason. It doesn't last forever. All good things must come to an end, and this is that time. Even the Bucks, I think the Bucks, again, I said it back earlier in the season. Getting rid of Holiday killed him. I just don't see Dame paying off for them. And the Celtics just gave Drew $150 million. So they in it for the long haul. But anyway, so you think about this transition. So Oklahoma City to be reckoned with, young. Minnesota shown they're in there. This Kyrie and Luka thing is working. Like, they having fun out in Dallas. They brought some bigs in. These guys, I like what I see from Dallas. Denver is Denver's in that mid-range. I would say they have a couple more years left. They're in that mid-range phase of it that they haven't quite peaked out, but I think they have a couple more years before they hit that wall. So it's going to be interesting to see. The Clippers, this is it for them. You're not going to get a whole lot more out of that group. They're all in their mid-30s. So 1 year, maybe another year, 2, that's it. It's done for them. And it costs so much. Like, I know they're moving into a new stadium, but Baltimore really has to start thinking about, all right, how am I going to transition this team so that I can continue to keep these fans and pay for this stadium? That's where Baltimore needs to focus, because you only have a few more years out of all those guys. But anyway, so I'm going to get to awards, but let's talk. So the season is ending. So where do we stand? All right, Denver's in first. Minnesota end up in second. Dallas third, right? No, yeah. OKC third. Then you go Clippers, Mavs. You go Clippers, Mavs, Pelicans, and then you start getting your playing games. The playing games on the West are going to be pretty good, because I think we're going to start off with Warriors-Lakers. Right now, the way the Warriors are playing, I'm taking the Warriors. Even though they may be undersized against the Lakers, they can just flat out shoot. And if they get hot, they're going to shoot the Lakers out the gym. They did it the other night. And I just don't think the Lakers have enough scoring output to match what the Warriors can do. Then you had a Suns-Kings. That's going to be a great playing game. And something happened with the Kings. I'm not quite sure. I thought the Kings were going to be in that Minnesota thing, looking like the Thunder, where they were going to turn that corner and be a top 5 team. It just hadn't happened. I don't know if it's Mike Brown or what happened to them. They haven't lost much. They haven't lost anything talent-wise. It just, something's not clicking right there. Mike Brown could be on a hot seat. So when you go through the matchups in the West, I got the Warriors coming out, beating the Lakers. That's going to put Denver Warriors. You're going to have Clips, Mavs. I'm actually going to take the Clippers in that series. I think with everyone healthy, I just think that's a hard team to beat. Thunder and the Pelicans. Zion had a decent year, kind of quiet, but I just think the Pelicans are too much, too talented. They have the scoring potential. They have length. Pause. No, my bad. No diddy. And then I'm taking the Suns over the Kings in that 7-10 game, 8-10 game. And that's going to be Minnesota and Suns. Now, this is where I'm going to throw everybody. The Suns are going to beat Minnesota. and it's just going to come down to a shootout. I think that the three scores they have are going to negate. They're going to outscore them, and the reason they will is because the bigs for Minnesota, they're rim protectors. All three of the guys on the Suns can shoot. They don't have to go near the rim. So I think it's going to come down to just output, and the Suns will end up beating Minnesota. But this will be that turning point for Minnesota where they get eliminated in the first round and they get back in the lab, and then you could probably see them in the Western Conference Finals next year. I'm gonna take you one more round. I'm not gonna take you all the way through because I gotta save something for when we get back, and we're gonna see how we do on this pass. So then we go with the Denver Clippers. Hell, I might as well take you all the way there. I got this far. So Denver Clippers. Denver. It's just they're too good of a team right now. And they match up well with the Clippers position by position. The difference maker, I think, in a lot of these series is Porter and his height. Porter can shoot over anybody on the court. And they have Caldwell Pope, who's always played well against Harden. Defensively, you got Murray. So matchup wise, they're good. Aaron Gordon, he can stick PG or Kawhi. So matchups are pretty good for that one. Thunder Suns. This again, it comes down to scoring. I'm taking the Suns again. So as down as I was on the Suns at the beginning of the season, I think they positioned themselves in the playoffs where they can thrive, and they will get through the playoffs, and they're gonna match Denver in the Western Conference Finals. So I'm gonna let y'all resonate on that. You know what I always say: like and subscribe. Leave me some comments. Talk to me. You tell me I'm crazy, but Denver beat the Suns in the finals, and that'll be Denver will represent the West in the NBA Finals. I know that's a little interesting. I probably didn't see that coming, but when I sat and thought about it and I started looking up the matchups, you move a team or two and that's different. Like if the Clips sort of fall down, and it's only 1 to 2 games separating a lot of these teams, so this could all change over the next day. But I think things are pretty solid. Like if it were to be the Clippers being on that side against the Suns, I would probably take the Clippers over the Suns because they can match up and they have perimeter defense. KD is still a problem, but they have good matchups. They just match up a little better. So then we go to the East, and this was what's interesting to me in the East. Boston gets no. I don't think people understand how good Boston was this year. Boston is damn near the 800 winning percentage. I think they're like 790, 785, somewhere like that. That's a 60-plus win team. And even with all that, Tatum, I don't think Tatum is in the top 5 in MVP. And if I had it somewhere, yeah. He averaging 27, 8, and 5. They're 62 and 17. Tatum not even in top 4 MVP voting, which is wild. But the rap on Boston is they don't win the big games. I think the big difference you'll see now is what Jrue Holiday brings to that team in the playoffs. He brings that dog. He brings a championship pedigree. All of those things that make a difference. And now you also have a Porzingis who's a matchup nightmare. And then you still have the veterans, right? You will miss Smart, but you got Holiday. You still got Al Horford. So you still have some vets to kind of get you through the playoffs. So I like Boston going pretty far. They just going to run up into a gauntlet, which I'll tell you about in a second. So when you look over here, the 7-8 matchup would be the Sixers Heat. Hell of a matchup for a play-in game. That's about as good as the Warriors. It's a little dog up here, look like my old Coco. I'm just looking up a bit. Then you have the Bulls Hawks. Ugly game, but I'm going to take the Bulls. So the Heat slide in. The Heat will get the Heat will lose to the Sixers. The Bulls will beat the Hawks, but the Heat will beat the Bulls. So that means the Heat will get the 8th spot. With the Sixers beating the Heat, the Sixers get the 7th spot. So your matchups Coming out the East are Boston Heat, Cleveland, Orlando, Knicks, Pacers, Bucks, Sixers. Remember, Embiid is back now. And during the time Embiid was out, we've seen Maxey. Hell, Maxey put himself an MVP candidate. Maxey balled out. And he's emerged as a perennial all-star. So this might have been one of the best things that could happen for the Sixers. Tobias out have made $200 million and not made an all-star team. Harris, hooping. Sixers are, and Embiid it's not like he's marginally back and healthy. Embiid's healthy and he's back. So we go Boston Heat. Of course, I'm gonna take Boston in that one. Probably in 6. It's just the Heat. Jimmy not going out like that, but it's a great matchup, and it's really gonna push Boston to the limits. But they can't go 7. They really don't need to go 6 because they're gonna need that energy further down the line in the playoffs. Cleveland, Orlando. This is gonna be an ugly series, but I'm going with Orlando. They're gonna probably have to break up Cleveland. I don't know if this Donovan Mitchell Garland thing is the best for either one of them. They both need to shine. Maybe the Lakers can figure out how to get Donovan Mitchell. If we can get LeBron out of there, him and Bronny can go back home to Cleveland. Y'all hear that? Put that out there in the books, man. Get Bronny back to Cleveland, get Donovan to the Lakers, and draft Bronny, and y'all can live happily ever after up there in Akron. Grandparents, everybody out there hanging out, y'all can watch the kids play. Knicks, Pacers. You know the Knicks all day. Listen, I never questioned if Jalen Brunson would be a pro. He's a natural born winner. But I didn't know he was going to be this good, honestly. Been watching the kid since playing for the Fire. Watched him at Stevenson play HF. Saw him a lot on the AAU circuit. Never knew he would be this good. Like, the kid is tough. But he's one of those, he's a winner. Flat out winner. He going to beat the Pacers. He put this team on his back with Randall out. And he's done for the season. I'm still riding with them because they got them Villanova boys on the roster and they just playing. So I'm going to take the Knicks over the Pacers. Now, this one is tough. JJ, I'm sorry. I know you had it rough with Marquette. I watched you. I felt bad. I had 911 on speed dial while you was watching the game, but Marquette came through. But the Sixers are going to beat the Bucks, man. You got Doc Rivers. You bought in the wrong coach. He just doesn't come through when it's big time. He came through with Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett, and that was it. But he had Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen, and a young Rondo. And then we also don't know how bad this injury is with Giannis. Now, he's supposed to just miss these games and come back, but if he missed 1 or 2 games in that playoff series against the Sixers, it's over. Boy, that's good on a Friday, I'm going to tell you. I hope you all having one too, man. It's a beautiful day. But again, Embiid is back. I like the Sixers with Embiid back now, because you got to remember, before he left, I think they might have been third. They might have been fighting with the Bucks for that second seed. So this is going to play out very well for the Sixers. So now we in the second round. You got Boston, Orlando. I'm gonna just take Boston in 5 over that one. That's just Orlando just doesn't have enough to complete with Boston. The Knicks and Sixers. This is gonna come down to Embiid. They might take him in 4 games because Embiid, they don't have an answer for Embiid. He's too dominant right now. There's no answer. So Brian Hobbs, if you're watching, we're gonna have a Boston 76ers Eastern Conference Finals. Dr. J, Larry Bird, Moses Malone, Kevin McHale. Who else I'm missing? Danny Ainge, Caldwell Jones, Andrew Toney. Let me think. Let me keep going. Bobby Jones. It's going to be Bill Walton. We going back to the 80s. This could be a great. This is going to be a great Eastern Conference Finals. Boston the Sixers. Man. Hold on. '76 and 7. Iverson just got it. Iverson just got the statue. Embiid is back. 76 is going to the NBA Finals. Only problem is he got to play Joker. Now, this is going to be must-watch TV. I got the last couple of MVPs. We got some throwback big man. This is how Edie get in the league. Y'all thought I was done with Edie. Having these two bigs in the league, I need another big on the bench with 6 fouls. This is where Edie move up to a top 15 draft pick. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. But at the end of the day, Denver wins. Denver over 76ers. Those are your NBA champs. So that's my playoff run. Now I may ball all this shit up and throw it in the paper next week. But right now, that's where we stand. So a good season. Ready for these playoffs. It ought to be pretty exciting. Everybody's healthy. We don't have any. We got some injuries out there, but none that are really going to change the landscape of where these teams are. So we just need to buckle up, get ready, and enjoy this ride. This is the best time of the season now. All right, so we talked about that. We got through the playoffs. The season over. It's been great, man. I love the NBA. I know a lot of people don't. It's different. The game has changed. But I've been blessed to be able to watch the NBA when the Lakers were on tape delay, and I'd catch them, late at night. Watching Lakers, trying to stay up. Benny Hill off. Now I'm trying to watch the Lakers. Only the old heads remember that old Benny Hill show. Then we saw Magic and Bird come through. That changed the game. Then this young kid out of North Carolina popped on the scene, and they just had to pass the torch. I miss Dr. J. Dr. J came in from the ABA. Then Mike came, and then we had this whole era, like the great 80s, 90s. We had the Pistons, we had the Bulls, we had Ron Harper, we had the great Phoenix teams, we had Shawn Kemp and Gary Payton, we had Karl Malone, John Stockton. Like, we had that run. Then you got into Kobe, and you had Kobe, Tracy McGrady. Just great eras of basketball. So now we get here. And I told you this year was a transition. We've been through LeBron, right? We passed the torch to LeBron. And shit, he didn't play 30 years. Seemed like I can remember when he was, I'm trying to think of the name of school he played at. I can just see the uniforms, green and yellow. But LeBron been around a long time. So here we are. New game. Rules have changed. The game's different. You look at the European impact on the game. I remember Drazen Petrovic, God bless him. They fought to get Sabonis, the father in the league, for a long time. I won't say fought. They chased him for a long time. He finally came in. So you might have had some few guys here and here, Tony Kukoc, Dino Raja. So there were some European players, but not as impactful as the guys that are coming in the league now. So it's been great. So again, I just said that to say I love the game, man. I've been around this game for so long. Enjoy it. So I'm gonna end y'all with this. Let's talk a little bit about these NBA awards that should be coming out. I think the Rookie of the Year, I'm just give a few. I think the Rookie of the Year is just locked up. It probably started off the season as a 3-man race. And my boy Scoot just didn't come through, man. I like Scoot, but Scoot had a rough year. Yeah, we'll see more of him. He showed signs of greatness, at least goodness. But Chet and Wemby, that's what it came down to. But Wemby, man, is just man, he did the sham god on these dudes the other day, man. He just, for somebody to be 7 foot, whatever he is, and be able to put it on the ground like that. Like, we've seen it evolving as these dudes get taller, they can shoot, but he's one of one. We haven't seen anybody at his height be able to move like he does, block shots, rebounds, put it on the ground. He can pull up on the court. Like, he's special. The question is, how long are they going to keep him in San Antonio? Again, here another one. If the Lakers want to really try to rebuild, get his ass on year 3 of that contract, year 4. Get him up out of there. Get him in LA. Then you all are back. You're back. Get you a couple of picks, and then LA is back to the draw, prime time. But Wemby's rookie of the year, man, it's hands down, it ain't even close. Sixth man of the year. There were a few guys that were candidates. Naz Reid. I wrote my notes. I forgot the hell I wrote. But Naz Reid, Malik Monk, Norman Powell. I got to go with Monk, man. Monk had some games where, and I know Sacramento was all over the place. And you almost, I kind of would consider Russ too. Just for his impact on the game. His number's not there, but his impact is there. But I'm going to go with Malik Monk, man. Malik Monk was just amazing off the bench. Just, he put up some 40-point games. So I take Malik Monk. Defensive player of the year. Wemby go home with 2 trophies, man. And his comes down to shot blocking. But the difference between him and, let's say, a Rudy Gobert, Wemby blocking 3, so he out on the perimeter blocking shots. He not just protecting the paint. He's protecting the 3-point shot. This dude blocking 3s. And it's hard to shoot over 7. He probably 10 feet. Maybe, I don't know. I got to see if he touched the rim standing up. I'm pretty sure he does. So that's 10 feet. You know the old drill where you shoot over a broomstick? That's what you're shooting over. So Wemby is Defensive Player of the Year. Now your MVP. This one is interesting. Again, I go back to Tatum is not even in the conversation. It used to be if you were the best player on the best team in the league, you were in the conversation. Not this case. He ain't in the conversation. But the knock on Tatum is he doesn't show up in big moments. Maybe he can come through that, man. But I'm a big fan, man. I think Tatum is tough. I think you got to consider him. But at the end of the day, for me, my candidates would be Tatum. I'd probably say Luka, SGA. I'm always put Giannis in there, man, because it's just Giannis. He play all the games. Speaking of all the games, I got to come back to somebody because I want to give him a special shout out. And I might give him I might make up an award for him this year. Giannis has to be in it. But you know who the one guy is that's going to get it again? Joker. And it's really hard to argue against Joker because the way, if you just watch Joker, now Anthony was talking about the Joker 5 years ago. He kept telling me, Dad, watch this guy. Watch this guy. I said, all right, let me check this dude out, man. And I fell in love. Like he no Diddy. He's just that guy. Like to watch him, the way he plays the games reminds you of some of the great point guards. The way he sees the floor, the way he throws over the shoulder passes, backdoor passes. Think of Magic and Larry Bird combined, if that makes sense. How he can pass and move the ball, rebound. Just different. That's all I can say. Joker's just different. So I'm gonna give him the MVP again. It's gonna be hard to unseat him. I think Anthony Edwards will be out there next year. He'll probably get into the conversation for sure. But Joker gets my MVP. So now my special award, and then this is where we're gonna close it out. My special award goes to Anthony Davis, Mr. Street Clothes himself, man. And you know what? Honestly, going back, Anthony Davis could be in that conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. He anchored the Lakers, man. Like there were some games where he was just outstanding, and I think he had a great year. He stayed healthy. He's played all the games. He sat out the other night, but that's probably at this point, you don't even play no more, man. Sit down. You had a great season. AD played well. He had some 30-20 games. So I think I want to call. What do I want to call this new award for that? We're just gonna call him. I'm gonna call him Mr. Reliable. AD gets it this year. That might be one new we just gonna do on the boogie. We just gonna call it Mr. Reliable, man, because AD came through big this year for the Lakers. Stephen A. bet he wouldn't make it. He lost his bet to Shay Shay. So shout out to AD, man. Chicago grown. I'm happy for you, man. You had it. There was nothing anybody could say about you this year, man. You came through and you played well. So, hey, y'all. We got through a lot. We got the playoffs in. We got a few games tonight. Let's tune in. I hope y'all have a great Friday, man. God bless you. Let's have some fun. And we'll be back now. I know I always promise I'm going to do a little bit better. But today I said I got to get one at the end of the season. But with these playoffs here, man, y'all might see me locked in the same time, same bat channel every Friday, getting ready for the weekend games, man. So y'all have a great one. God bless you. Love you.